Hey, how's it going? My name is Louis Torres. I've been a targeted individual for about 5 years. And today I didn't want to go over a stage. I mean, maybe it can be a stage. All right, I'll call it stage six. All right. Stage six is when they actually reveal themselves to you visually. Uh, it's pretty epic. It's pretty badass. I've seen two versions of them. And I was wide awake. I wasn't in a dream. I wasn't on drugs. I didn't smoke no weed, drink no beer. I was pretty sober. This was when I was going through my, was it fasting stage? I don't know if it was a fasting stage, but this is when I was like trying to connect myself to source, and I was totally isolated from the rest of the world because I didn't want nothing to do with the rest of the world. And I started leaning towards my understanding of God, and this is when they revealed themselves to me. Um, it was pretty cool. To give you an example of what they look like, hold on, give me a second. To give you an example of what they look like, let me take this plastic off, so that way you can see what they look like. They'll talk to you, and they actually have portals. I've seen the portal. I've seen the other side of the portal, and I've seen what it looks like on the other side. Could have been heaven, to be honest with you. I don't know, but they told me, the female, it was a female and a child, because I seen both of them, and they came to visit me, and they told me that they were inhabitants of heaven. But the unique part about it was, now that I took the sticker off of this water bottle, I could show you. They look like this. They're clear. You can only see the outline of them. It's like optic camouflage. It looks like optic camouflage. You can hear them, and the way that they're shaped, you could see, their figure. You can't see their flesh. You can't see color. You can't see nothing. You can hear them. They're actually really excited to see you. Depending on what you've done in your life, the children of the inhabitants of heaven, they're not as aware of the things that you have done like the adults. The child came right next to me. You could see the light bending through them. You can't see their face. You know that they're there. You can see them move around the room. And the child was happy that he seen me, but the mother wasn't so impressed because that was his mother. And according to them, they came to rapture me, but I chose to stay behind because I have a targeted individual girlfriend. You can check her out on Facebook. Her name is Imiani MC. It's spelled I-M-I-A. Imiani?
Imani. I-M-I-A-N-I.
I-M-I-A-N-I. MC. And she's a targeted individual. She also made a YouTube video. She's seen the shadows of them, and I've seen their figure. So it's not like I'm going crazy. It's not like something that I've actually gone through on my own. She's actually gone through this too. She's been a targeted individual for about 7 months. And they told me that they came to rapture me. And I said, well, I wanted to go. When you look at the other side of the portal opens up, and you can see it's faint. You could see the portal open up, and it's a circle portal. This is what makes me believe that the gates of heaven isn't necessarily a gate, but could be a portal. Because for it to be a gate, for you to sit there and think that it's a gate means that there's a path to get to there. However, to get to heaven, it's a unique invitation. And I've also seen the bad ones. The bad ones are, I remember one of my voices named Guy was when he was corrupt, because he was a good guy, but he got corrupted by one of my other voices. And I saw when he was bad. Um, it was like a dark shadow, and you could see them move through the darkness. You could see them move through the darkness. The best way, this is a tip or a trick, so that way you could see them. Stare into the light. Keep staring into the light in your room. Wait till that light. Wait till that light burns its image into your brain. Then turn off the light. If you're lucky enough, they'll let you see them. It's hard to see them at dark because it's dark. Your eyes can't adjust to that level of darkness, especially in an all dark room, which is probably why my friend Devin Devine from Facebook, he has also his own sets of videos regarding targeted individuals. So check him out. And he's trying to stop these beings. But yeah, I've seen one of the evil ones kill one of the people who actually came through the portal, and they said that it was my fault, but they said that they could bring him back. So it wasn't like it was all lost. Um, could have been a Jedi mind trick that they do. I mean, I don't know, but I'm only expressing what I've seen, and yeah, they're clear and they're knowledgeable. You could tell they're like the the knowledge that they have. These beings, or at least I'll call them the clear people, because there's the clear people and there's the shadow people. The shadow people are pretty bad. The clear people are the ones that you could tell that they're they have no darkness in them, and the light, you know, goes through them. It's a beautiful thing. When I've seen them, it was like it made me feel welcomed. It made me feel at home. So they told me that they came to rapture me. I told them that I was gonna stay behind because I wasn't gonna leave my girlfriend behind. Because she was targeted, and I didn't want her to leave this earth and have her go through the stress and the struggles of her targeting. And they were letting me know a lot of things of heaven, and they were like, listen, we just want you to come home. This is not a place for you. And I refused. I don't know if that's a good thing or a bad thing, but it was in multiple occasions that I've seen him in my ex-girlfriend's house. When I was trying to let her know that I was being targeted, I saw one out of the corner of my eye, and it kind of looks, if you ever played Metal Gear Solid, when you get the optic camouflage, it's like people can't see you, but you could, the player itself can see the outline of the character, which is Solid Snake. So if you ever want to get a example of what they look like, go to YouTube, type up optic camouflage, Metal Gear Solid, and you'll see. But except the camouflage that the Solid Snake has is green, but the camouflage that these individuals have is clear. It's like water. It's just like this, except this has more detail, so you can go into detail. But if you look at let me see if I can do it right. If you look at the bottom half of the water, you can only see the outline of it. You could tell that there's something there. You could tell that there's something inside there, but there's no color, so there's no in-depth detail as to what's in here. All you know is that it's clear. The only thing that lets you know that it's there is the plastic of the bottle. But when they're dark, it's actually pretty devastating. They sat next to me. The ones that was dark sat next to me in like this invisible chair. They just sat there. They first said that they were good, but then after they raptured Guy, because they didn't want me to see them. This was before I saw them. They they took Guy because he names himself Guy. One of my operators, one of these beings, names himself Guy. When they raptured him, I had to. It was like an exorcism from one of the voices. She said he's too evil. He's got to go. And she said, you know, fast. And I was fasting, and it was hurting him because they feel what you feel. So while you're fasting and you're going through that hunger, it's an uncomfortable situation that these beings go through because they're feeling the pain of hunger. And normally they don't feel this pain, but when they're inside your body, because they are part of you, they are connected to you. When they are connected to you, they feel the pain that you feel through hunger. You know, they understand the level of peace that you get from prayer. So, you know, they had me fast. I fasted for a while. I sped up my metabolism through coffee, so that way my metabolism would speed up. I would be able to detox all the metals and the and the meat that I have had in my body. So that's when they was like, well, close your eyes. And he was weak, and I had to smoke cigarettes back to back because Guy didn't like cigarettes at the time, and I smoked cigarettes. So I ended up buying, like, what was it, like almost a carton of cigarettes, and I was smoking back to back, and he just wanted to leave. You know, he was like, all right. He was like, all right, listen, I'll leave. I'll leave. And she was like, well, then leave. And every time it was time for him to leave, he was afraid to deal with the creator. You know, he was afraid of where he was going. So, you know, after I've expelled myself from all of his impurities, I stopped hearing him for a while. And when he came back, he was pretty upset. And they was like, well, why did you come back? And he said, well, I'm not going to tell you guys, you know, because they have conversations within themselves. I hear their conversations. And they say, well, he said, well, I'm not going to tell you. Just know that it wasn't good. And I had to come back because for whatever reason. And they're telling me right now that I'm telling you guys too many secrets. But I'm preparing you. I'm preparing you so you won't be afraid. So when you do see these clear beings or these black beings, you can differentiate between the two. Because what if you see a shadow that's speaking to you and tells you that it's a good guy? At least now you know that they're not good. You know that the clear people are good. Um, because light reflects in and out their bodies. For whatever reason, you can't see their face. You can't see detail like me. Just try to envision yourself, envision me in a clear state where all you can hear is my voice, but you can't see my eyes. You can't see my eyebrows. You can't see my nose or my mouth. And they visited me. I think the best part of the experience was seeing through that portal. It was round. The portal was round. It was big enough for a human being. You could see them walk through that portal. That's how they travel. They travel through portals, and that's how they get to heaven. Because once that portal is closed, there's no way to get through that portal. There's no way to get to heaven except through that portal. I know it sounds weird. It sounds hard to believe, but I wouldn't be sharing this if it was hard to believe. I know that you're capable of believing this. They're spirits. They come from different dimensions. They come from different areas. Some come from heaven. Some been stuck here. That's how they get stuck here. The people from heaven go through the portal. The people that's left behind stay behind, and they have to travel the earth until they get accepted to heaven. And that's if they get accepted to heaven. And yeah, so I've watched one of them. You could feel them leave your body. I felt them leave my body when they expelled Guy from my body. You can literally feel them ascend. And he got in trouble. He came back. He was pretty pissed off at me, but after a while he just stopped communicating with me and just lived his life. You know, because ultimately Guy was a good guy. He started off good, and he became evil because one of the voices kept degrading him and, you know, complaining about him, kept criticizing him. and he got tired of it, and it drove him evil. But when he came back changed, and he was afraid to go back. He was literally afraid to go back or to go through that whole experience again. And he was upset at me, but I was only following my directions in order to expel these demons out of my body, because not all of them are bad, not all of them are good. So in saying that, this is just stage 6, where you can see them, you can hear them. They come and visit you, and you see through that portal, and you see how green and how blue that sky is, and how beautiful it looks over there, that you just want to go. I felt so bad because deep down inside of my body, I wanted to go, and even though I had my girlfriend, it was like, you just want to go, you just don't want to